today's note-taking guide is 5.3 for Math 1. We're going to take a few minutes and we're going to talk about multiplying and dividing functions. So they work exactly the same as addition and subtraction did, where we're just going to do the same kinds of things that we've always done with our expressions. But sometimes we're going to have to substitute a number in to the function along with just multiplying or dividing or adding and subtracting. So let's take a look at some of our problems here and see what we're doing. Before we get started though, it's important to notice the notation. If there's a dot like this in the functions, this says multiply f function times g function. If they're written this way, it means the same thing, multiply the f function times the g function. This is division of f divided by g, and so is this division of f divided by g. So two different ways to write out our function notation here, but it all works the same way. All right, here's my f function, my g function, and my h function. And I'm just going to do the kind of arithmetic that it asked me to. So the very first thing it says to do here, is it says to do -4 times putting 6 into the f function. So I'm going to put the f function here. It will be 2x plus 8. But I really have got to put the number 6 into the x spot. So I'm going to go -4 times 2 times 6 plus 8. And then I'm just going to do that arithmetic on my calculator. So I'm actually multiplying those together. So inside here, that would be 12 plus 8. 12 plus 8 is 20. So I'd have -4 times 20. Which is going to be a -80 for my solution. All right, this next one says to do h of 4 times g of 3. So to do h of 4, I'm going to grab that h function, which is x squared, and I'm going to put 4 inside of it. So 4 squared, which is 16. I'm going to have to times that by something when I'm done. I'm going to put the 3 through the g function. The g function is a little more complicated. It's got a lot more stuff to it over here. So the g function is 3x squared plus 2x minus 8. And I've got to substitute my 3 in for it. So 3 times 3 squared plus 2 times 3 minus 8. So take a second and put that in your calculator and get that number for me. Alright, when I put that through my calculator, I got the number 25, so hopefully that's correct. So 16 from the first part, 25 from the second part. I have to times those two together to get my solution. So 16 times 25 is 400. So my solution to this problem is 400. Alright, so these all are going to work that same way. I don't really have a ton of space here to work, so hopefully we can figure this out a little bit faster. Alright, this next one right here, it asks us to either times f and g together first and then put a 4 through it, or we can put 4 through each one of those and then times the values together. I think I'm going to choose to put 4 through g and then put 4 through f and then multiply those numbers together. So the first function I'm going to grab is my g function, and it's 3x squared plus 2x minus 8. I'm going to put in a 4 every time I see an x. So I'm going to go 3 times 4 squared plus 2 times 4 minus 8. And I'm going to get that number. That number is going to be my first number that I'm going to multiply together with the number I get from the f function in order to get my solution here. So let's take a minute and let's just plug that in our calculator. And when I did that, I got 48. So my first number is going to be 48 that I'm going to use to multiply together. The second number I'm going to use is going to come from substituting in 4 into the f function. So I'm going to grab the f function now, which is 2x plus 8. I'm going to put 4 in place of the x, so 2 times 4 plus 8. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. So now I found these two values, the f of 4 and the g of 4. Now I get to multiply those together. So I'm going to do 48 times 16, which is 768. and 768 is my solution to number 3. All right, number 4 gets a little more complicated, it looks like. So the first thing I'm going to do is find h of 2. So I'm going to put 2 into the h function. The h function is x squared. I'm going to go 2 squared, and I'm going to get the number 4. Timesing that by 6 times f of 13. So I got to find out what f of 13 is, which means I'm going to put 13 into the f function. The f function is 2 times x plus 8. So I'm going to go 2 times 13 plus 8. I'm going to figure out what's inside those parentheses. So 2 times 13 plus 8 actually gets me 34. So I'm going to have 4 times 6 times 34. And when I do that, I get 816 for my solution. All right, these next two, the first one it says find f of 12, and then it says divide it by g of 2. So I'm going to find f of 12 first. So I'm going to go up to my f function, and I'm going to substitute in the 12. So my f function is 2x plus 8. I'm going to put 12 in there, so 2 times 12 plus 8. That's going to be 24 plus 8, which is 32. So on my top of my fraction, I have 32. And now I've got to substitute in 2 into the g function. The g function is that big long one, that 3x squared plus 2x minus 8. And every time I see an x, I'm going to put in a 2. So 3 times 2 squared plus 2 times 2 minus 8. And I'm going to put that in my calculator. And when I do that, I get the number 8 out. So 8 goes on the bottom of my fraction here. Wow, that's an ugly 8. So I'm putting 8 on the bottom of my fraction, and 32 divided by 8 is actually the number 4. So my solution to this problem is going to be the number 4. The last problem here I have is another division one. It says f of 4 divided by h of 4. So I'm going to do 4 into my f function, and then 4 into my h function, and I'm just going to solve that as a division problem. So I'm going to divide that and see if it will divide out. So I'm going to put 4 into the f function first, so 2x plus 8. I'm putting 4 in there, so 2 times 4 plus 8. That comes out as 16. So I'm going to have 16 on the top of my fraction, and then I have to find h of 4. H is x squared. I'm going to go 4 squared. 4 squared happens to be 16. So I'm going to have 16 divided by 16, which is actually the number 1 for my solution. All right, I kind of went through that quickly today, so hopefully that was enough information for you. If you have any questions, come and see me, please. Good luck with your homework, you guys.